Okay, in this practical guide, that means in practical guide 4, we are going to discuss about how to pass data between two activities. Okay, in this case, in this guide, there is a interface as main activity and another UI as interface to. So this main interface is consist with two widgets as name and the email, and there is a button as send or something. So by using this interface, user can input their values for these two attributes. Okay. After that, user input can, we are going to send this user input for this interface too. So our main objective is to pass input from main activity to interface 2. That means to share the data between two activities. Okay. Before moving to question, before moving to the practical guide, let me ask some question. So in Android environment, if you want to declare a color variable, which file or what is the file used to define this color variable? Can someone answer my question? What is the file used to define the color variable within this Android Studio? No, it's not a in-class assignment, just a practical question. To implement a practical question from, I think I'm planning to give for 1 day for as a timeline. 1 day you can submit within 24 hours. Okay, so my question is, what is the file used to define color variable in Android Studio? Can someone answer my question? If you want to declare a color variable, which file is used to define this color variable? Hello, can you all hear me? Yeah, color.xml file is used to define the color variable. Then, now I want to define a string variable in Android Studio, in my application or in my project within Android Studio. I want to declare a string variable. So what is the file used to define this string variable? What is the file used to define a string variable? Yeah, string.xml file can be used to define string variable. Okay. Let's start Android Studio. It is better to wait. Okay. Now we are in practical guide 4. In last week we created a project as navigation 2. In this navigation 2 project, we defined two color variables as red and light blue. Let's open it first. Wait. Take some time to process. Wait. Okay, you can open your existing project by using this file. Wait. Still loading. Okay, you can open an existing file by using open. Then navigation tool is the project. I'm going to open navigation tool. In last week, we already defined two variables, two color variables in color XML file as red and light blue. You can find this color XML under RS folder. Under RS folder, you can find layout, not layout, values folder. Under this value folder, you can find colors.xml file. So in this file, we already defined two variables as red and, sorry, two colors as red and light blue. Then we change the background color of android.xml as red, and this is the main activity. We already set the background color as red. Then we create another XML file as interface2, and we define the background color as light blue. This is the interface2 XML. Okay. Okay. After that, we create two attributes or two field as name and the email address. In main activity, in this activity, you can see we already created two field, two field as name and in email user input for user inputs to gather the user input. Then there is a button as send to UI2. This is a button. Okay. So after that, we create some string variable within the string.xml. We create some string variable like this within string.xml file. After that, we assign this variable values to, we assign this variable values for these attributes by using, by using variables declared within this string XML file. You can see these are the variables we created. By using this variable, we assign values for our attributes. Okay. So in last week, we did up to question number 12. Then let's discuss from question number 13. So in question number 13, we already created two interface as interface 2 and activity.mx, activity underscore main XML. That means there are two interface. The first interface is consists of two fields as name and email. Now we are going to get the information from user for this, for these two fields, and we are going to send this information to second interface or a second UI. Okay. So as a 13 question, we need to create another Java file which is related to interface to XML file. We already created interface to XML file. Now we want to create related Java file for this XML file. To create the Java file, you can move to this Java folder. Then you can right click on this Java folder. Then there is an option as view new. You can click on this and next you can choose this Java class. Okay. So after that, you can give your what is the name? Second screen. Let's copy this second screen dot Java. You can give this name. This is the class name, second screen. You can create a class by using this feature. This is available under the Java. You can click on Java simply, then new Java class, and you can give the name according to your preference. Okay. So my second Java file is second screen. Okay. Shall we create this within this folder? Wait. Let's create it within this package. Okay. Dot example navigation 2. Click on this one. New Java class, then second screen. Okay, you can see these two files are within this package. I think you have some idea about package. You already complete the Java course in previous semesters, so you can create another Java file within this package. Okay, so this is our new Java class. Now we are going to extend app compact activity class. So this is a activity. So define this is an activity. To define this activity, we are going to import relevant packages. So let's copy these things like this. We can import app compact activity class to create an activity, to initialize an activity within this Java file. Okay. You can see, then you can implement on create method when you are, I think in last week we were discuss about this on create method in under activity. So in lecture 4. This is the on create. In last week, we already discussed about this on create method. So this on create method is used to initialize the activity. So now we are going to initialize the activity within this second screen Java class. Okay. This is my practical guide. Let's copy and paste these two. Sorry, this is within the main activity Java class. If you want to create on create method within this second Java class, sorry, okay, you can create on create method within this second screen. Let's copy and paste these things like this. Before that, you need to extend activity class like this. Then you can create on create method to initialize activity, that means interface activity defined by interface 2 within this Java file or a Java class. Okay, like this you can do it. Okay, then let's move into question number 18. In this one. Okay. Now you already created two XML, two new XML file and a Java file. So we want to add these details into our manifest.xml file. So this is contain the this manifest Android manifest.xml file contain all the metadata of this project. Okay, so within this we need to create the activity for interface2.xml or second screen.java. Okay, let's create an activity like this. This is my activity. You can create a new activity within manifest Android manifest.xml by using activity tag activity Android name. You can give the class name. That means class name. This is the second screen. So you can give the class name by using a dot operator. Sorry, dot second screen. Then you can close the activity tag. Okay. Up to this level, do you have any question? Is it clear? ඔයාලට මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න මෙච්චර කළා. අපි දැන් XML ෆයිල් දෙකක් ක්‍රියේට් කරගත්තා. already inbuilt අපි ක්‍රියේට් කරන main activity එකට අමතරව තව activity එකක් අපි ක්‍රියේට් කරගත්තා as interface 2. ඊට පස්සේ අපි ඒකට related Java file එකක් හැදුවා. හැබැයි අපි මෙහෙම අලුතෙන් හැදුවට file දෙකක් අපි ඒවට අදාළ activity define කරන්න ඕනේ අපි Android manifest file එකේ. ඒකේ තමයි metadata තියෙන්නේ අපේ application එකට අදාළව. එතකොට අපි activity එකක් define කරා within this manifest Android manifest file by using activity tag like this. So you can define any number of activities by using activity tag. At that time, you need to give the class name by using dot operator. And also, we initialize on create method to initialize the activity in this program. Okay, so by using this on create method, we initialize the another activity for this project. Okay. Okay. Then let's move into next part. Open main activity Java file and create two edit text object to handle two text boxes on the interface. Now we are going to code this. We already created variables. Now we are going to use these variables within these two Java files. You can define and initialize any interface, any attributes as well as variables within these two, but you want to use all these things within the Java file. Okay, I'm going to close these things. Okay, now main.activity Java. Now we are going to create two variables as edit text object within my main activity Java. So these are the two variables. So you all know. Before that, let's take this one. Okay. You can see there are two variables as name and email. So I'm going to create two variables to store the input values. Then make input values then use them in the input values store කරගන්න මම two variables හදනවා main Java class එකේ. Okay, then මේක තියන්නේ activity.xml or XML file is used to define the layout of the application. If you need to execute any function, or if you need to, execute any function, you can implement the code within these two Java files. Okay. Now I'm going to create two variables as let's create these two at the beginning of the class like this. At that time, these two variables become as a global variable. Okay, now you can see we need to import these two classes, or like this. Okay, you need to import widgets.edit text for our Java file. Okay, now we created two variables as input name and the input email. The data types of these two variables is edit text. So this is the data type. So we created two objects by using this edit text data type. Okay, so this is the data type. Then okay, now we are going to find the value, or now we are going to assign the value for these two variables. So you can see within this, within this onCreate method, I'm going to assign the value for this input name. Input name එකට අපි ඒ variable එකට data use කරන්න යන්නේ. මෙතන අපි කරේ input variable දෙකක් declare කරගන්න එක විතරයි edit text එකේ. Now we are going to initialize the value for these two variables. Okay, so we can wait. Let's initialize the value so we can get the wait. Now we are going to initialize the value for this input name. So okay, to achieve this target, we use find view by ID, and we are going to give the name of this field. දැන් අපි කරන්න යන්නේ මෙන්න මේ field එකේ තියෙන, කියන්නේ field එකට user දෙන මොකක් හරි input value එක අපි assign කරගන්න යනවා මෙන්න මේ input name කියන variable එකට. Okay, now we are going to initialize the user input values for this variable by using the ID of this field or an attribute. Okay, so in this case you can see this is the first edit text. You can see ID of this field is name. Okay, so you can find the value by ID. You can give the name of the ID. So the name of the ID is name. So in this case, name of the ID is name. So this is the ID name. Okay, we are going to find the value, find the value by using find view by ID using name ID. So this is the ID name. Okay, then we are going to input the values for email, input email variable. This is the variable same. Edit text can give the, you can assign the value by using find view ID, and then you can give the ID name. What is the ID name? Let's see. This is email text ID. Yeah, edit text ID is email. This is the name of the ID. Okay. This is the name of the ID. You can give ID like this. Email is the ID. Okay. Like this, we can initialize the value for these two variables. දැන් ඔයාලට තේරෙනවා අපි variable දෙකක් create කරා. දැන් අපිට user දෙන values එන්නේ අපේ අර attributes එකට. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි මෙතන define කරලා තිබ්බ attributes වලට තමයි user දැන් එතනට තමයි input value එක දෙන්නේ. දැන් මේ value එක අපි මේ Java file එකට ගන්න අපි කරේ find view by id එකක් use කරගෙන මෙයාගේ id එක use කරගෙන අපි මේ value එක මෙයාට initialize කරගත්තා. හරිනේ. මේවා Java part. Not Android. These are Java. Okay. Now we already initialized two values for these two variables. Okay. Then in the next question is open the main activity.java file and implement the button click event as mentioned in button element in activity main XML. Okay, now we are going to create the button click event. Okay, so to create this button click event, we already defined an on click method. This is the method. We are going to implement this method within the Java file. Okay, you can before that, before creating yeah, you can create that method public void. This is my method. Now we are going to we already create next GUI. This is the black button click event. So I already defined this method within this, okay, within this Java class. Then I'm going to take two parameters as view. Sorry, this is simple. Can click on all then the end import class. Okay, like this, you can create another method to implement the button click event. So this is the button click event. Visit next UI. Okay, we already create this one. Then we import these beads. Then we are going to create intent. What is meant by intent? What is meant by intent? In last week also we discussed about intent. What is meant by intent? What is the intent? Yeah, this is act like a binding object to move from one activity to another activity. Yeah, you can use intent to start another activity. This is just like a bridge between two activities. So, or you can call it as binding object. So the intent is a binding object between two activities. Okay. Now we are going to create an intent. Then අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම initialize කරගත්ත දැන් අපි step by step මේ කරන්නේ දැන් මේක practical session එකක් නිසා මම step by step ඔයාලට තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන නිසා හැමීට කියලා දෙන්න. දැන් අපි හදාගත්ත interface එකක් එහෙම නැත්නම් form එකක් අපි form එකෙන් values users input කරන්න අවස්ථාව දුන්නා. අපි input කරන values variables දෙකකට assign කරා. දැන් අපි කරන්න යන්නේ මේ assign කරන values sorry values දෙකක් අපි දැන් variable දෙකකට assign කරගත්තා. දැන් අපි කරන්න යන්නේ ඒව pass කරන්න. අපිට දැන් pass කරන one we want to move from one activity to another activity. That means we want to jump from activity main activity to interface to activity. Okay, to launch activity interface 2 by using interface 1, we want to create an intent object first. Okay, now we are going to create an intent object. To create an intent object, you can use this code intent like this. I'm going to copy paste. You can create any object by using intent class. Okay, so capital it. Okay, you can import intent class first. Okay, then you can create a variable. Let's take variable as what is the variable? Go to next screen. Okay, go to next screen. Then new. After that, yeah, you can create intent. I'm going to copy paste. Get application context. That means we are going to load the application context. Then the next one is second dot. Is the second screen. So let's copy paste. This is the class. Second screen is the class. There are two attributes in this like this. You can create an intent object by using intent class. This is the variable name or object name. Intent, go to next screen. This is my variable name. Then you can create new object by using new intent. Then as a first parameter, you can pass the function get application context to load the application context. This is for to load the application context. Then the next one is the class. You can define the class by using class keyword like this. So if your second interface related Java class is let's take it as parent, so this should be parent.class. Likewise, you can give your Java file name or a Java class name to this position as second argument. Okay, now we already created binding object as go to next screen. Okay, then we are going to put the data. That means we are going to send the data from main activity to interface 2. Okay, for that you can take these two one. In last few, I think in previous session we already discussed about put extra method. This put extra method is used to send the data to next screen. So you can see, go to next screen. This is my variable name dot put extra. This is a method. Then you can input the value. So as a first sending data, we can use name. Input name is the variable name. Get text. You need to convert this name to string. Then the next one is email address. you can see email address, get text to string. You need to convert all these variable values to string. Okay, so this is the way to send the data. So now I already put the variable values to intent object. Okay, now as a next step we are going to login. This is for get text. This is for get text. This is about logcat. You need to go to class like this. You can see this is the input name, get text. Then we already put the data to the intent object. This is for get the data from input. Sorry, intent. Okay. So like this. After that, you can start the activity. Go to next screen. By using this variable, you are going to start next activity within this activity. So the next activity is second screen. We already created the second activity or a second variable. This is the second executed interface. So you can start it by using a start activity. To start this activity, we send all the details which are stored in this. Go to next screen where object. Okay, so we can pass this variable within this start activity method. So this is the way to implement main activity Java file. Okay. Now we already created a Java class to store the values for two variables. After that, we send the data to second screen by using this visit next UI button click method. Okay, so this is a button click method. So you can see we already initialized this button click method within this button layout. So you can see this is the on click event. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි on click කියලා අපි දැන් button events තියෙනවනේ එක එකව තියෙනවා mouse action resonance ඒ කියන්නේ mouse resonance ඔය වගේ එක එක විදිහට තියෙනවා. දැන් අපිට මෙතන තියෙන button එක click කරාම මොකද්ද වෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක අපි මෙතන define කරනවා. මේකට button click event එකක් කියලා කියනවා. You can initialize this button click event by using Android on click. Then you can give the name of the button click method. Okay, you can define any method by using any name, and you can initialize this method to this on click event. Okay, I think it was clear. Any doubt before moving to next part? Any issue? If you have any question now, you can raise your question before moving to next part. I'm going to run this program. Okay, let's choose this one. It's built-in. It takes some time to process. It's still running. This is here. It's very small. No? Okay, you can type your name like this. Email address. And I'm going to validate these things. Okay, then send UI. Okay. Now we already sent. Let's take these values for this navigation to interface. Now we already sent the data to second screen. Now we are going to display values sent by main activity within this second screen Java file. Okay. Before that, let's take another device, virtual device. No, I don't like that one. Let's take this one. Okay, this interface is okay. Okay, then let's move into next part. In this case, now we are going to create two text view. Then sorry. Then data main activity එකේ ඉඳන් second Java එකට යවලා නේද දැන් අපි මේ data ටික display කරන්න යන්නේ. To display this data, we use two text view as label. Now we are going to create two text view within this interface to XML for display purpose. Okay. Now I'm going to insert two text view. Wait. Okay, like this, you can insert two text view. This is my first one. This is my second one. There are two text or two label. I already inserted two labels or a text view. Then let's change the IDs of these two variables. Okay, now I want to change the ID to you can change the location according to your preference. Now I'm going to change the IDs. In this, it is as text, sorry, text name. And then next one is as text email. We are going to change IDs as this. Okay. It is simple. Again, same thing, no? Sorry. This is text name. You can change the ID. These two position like this. Okay, then you can change the second one as text email. So these are the two text view. Okay. Now let's move into second screen Java file. We are going to create two variables to get the values. So okay, we can take these two variables. We are going to define two variables by using text view data field. Within this on create method, you can, okay, now you can import text view class by using alt and enter. You can use these two. These are the two variables as text name and the text email. We are going to find the values by using this ID. This is the ID name. Okay. Then we are going to take the value from intent object. To retrieve the data from intent object, first you need to create, first you need to create an intent object. To create intent object, you can create it like this, intent I by using get. Before that, you can import intent class to this file. Just highlight this one, then alt plus enter. Okay, sorry, plus enter like this. You can import the class. Okay, so get, you can get the intent by using get intent function. Now it's initialized to I variable. By using this I variable, we are going to get the values which are sent from main activity.java. Okay, now we are going to retrieve the data by using these two items. Okay. By using this, sorry, wrong position. In this position, you can, by using this I variable, you can get string extra to put the data into the intent object. You use put extra. To retrieve the data, you can use get string extra. These are the two variables, two IDs of these two. This is the ID. So these are the two IDs. You can assign these values to two variables like string name and the string email. Okay. Then we are going to, we are going to set the label value by using this name and email. Then අපි කරන වැඩේ put extra function එකේ intent object එකට දැම්ම intent object එකෙන් ගත්ත ඒ values ටික අපි දැන් display කරගන්න යන්නේ. ඒකට අපි ඒ intent object එකේ තියෙන values ටික variable දෙකකට collect කරන් name email කියලා දැන් අපි කරන්න යන්නේ name email වලට collect කරගත්ත values ටික අපි set කරන්න යන්නේ මෙන්න මේ interface to XML එකේ මෙන්න මේ labels දෙක මත. කියන්නේ we are going to display the values on these two labels. To display, we need to set the values to these two labels. So to set these values, you can use txt email dot set text. This is the variable name like this. Then again text email dot set text. We are going to set the text of the label by using the ID. What is the ID? Sorry, email. By using email like this. Okay. These are the steps. Receive the data. To receive the data, let's comment this. To receive the data, we can use these two steps. Then to display the data, you can use these two steps like this. Okay. I think now everything is finished. Okay. Now we are going to run the program. Okay. You wait. Okay. You can type your name and your email address. Yes. Sorry. After that, you can see this is the values. You can change this position according to your preference. So this is the way to display. Any question? This is the way to send the data between two activities like this. Any question? Is it clear? Any questions? Okay, let's try to change these things. Yeah, likewise, you can change the label values according to your preference. Okay. Okay, let's change. This is also my email address is. And also, wait, this is the interface. You can change the position like this. This you can change the object size as well as the position. Let's run this. You can make any changes according to your preference. Okay. See the like this. You can change your output. Okay. Any issue? මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? දැන් අපි we already discussed about how to pass the data between two activities. I think a small application. Do you have part? Do you have any question? We develop a small program to calculate the sum of two values. No one in the class. No. Wait. Okay. Okay. Any questions?
मैडम
Yes.
मैं ගිය සතියේ මේ අර රෝ ෆෝල්ඩර් එකට ඇඩ් කරේ මේ මියුසික් එක.
Oh.
ඒක ඇඩ් කරපු ගමන් මැඩම් මේ ඇයි ඇප් එකේම error එකක් පෙන්නනවානේ.
error එකක් පෙන්නනවා. add කරාම app එකේ error එකක් පෙන්නනවද?
ඔව් ඒ කියන්නේ අර ෆෝල්ඩර් එකේ ඉඳන් උඩටම error එකක් පෙන්නනවා අර රෙඩ් අන්ඩර්ලයින් කරලා.
ඔයා මේ හරි ෆෝල්ඩර් එකටද add කරේ?
ඔව් රෙස් ෆෝල්ඩර් කියලා එකන්නේ.
ඔව් අපි ගිය සතියේ ඔයාලට මතකද මේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක හැදුවේ මොකක්ද කියලා? මට ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් නේම් එක මතක නෑ.
අර එක ඇක්ටිවිටි එකකින් අනිත් ඇක්ටිවිටි එකට ගියාට පස්සේ අර මේ මියුසික් එකක්
ප්ලේ වෙන එකනේ.
ඔව්
guide number 3. මේක නේද? ඔය මියුසික් එක ඩවුන්ලෝඩ් කරලා හරි තැනට ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් කරා නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ රිසෝස් ෆෝල්ඩර් එකට දැම්ම නේද?
ඔව් මැඩම්.
චුට්ටක් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් නම් ෂෙයා ඔයාගාව දැන් තියෙනවද? දැන් ෂෙයා කරන්න පුළුවන්.
දැන් නම් පවර් කට් එකක් මැඩම් මම මොබයිල් ෆෝන් එකෙන් ලොග් වෙලා ඉන්නේ.
හරි. එහෙම වුණොත් පුතේ ඔයාලට පුළුවන් මට ඔයාගේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක සිප් කරලා එවන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක සිප් කරලා එවන්න. මගේ ඊමේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එක දන්නවනේ. ඒ ඊමේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එක එවන්නකො මම ඔයාලට ඊට පස්සේ ඒක කමෙන්ට් එකක් දෙන්න.
හරි මැඩම් thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. I will give you 5 minutes. If you have any question, now you can raise your question. As a final assessment, you have to develop a small project or an application for a practical scenario. So if you have any question, now you can solve them. අපි අවසාන project එක විදිහට group assignment එකක් ගන්න plan කරන් ඉන්නේ මොකක් හරි small scenario එකකට මොකක් හරි application එකක් develop කරන්න අපි කියමුකෝ inventory control system එකක් හෝ library management system මේ system එකට අපි small application එකක් Android application එකක් develop කරන්න යන්නේ. එතකොට මේ basic ටික ඕනේ. ඔයාලට මොන හරි question එකක් තියෙනවා නම් දැන් අහන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් let's try another example before moving to the theory part. Do you have any question? Okay, I think no question. That means everything is clear. එහෙමද නැත්නම් question එකෙන් හැමදේම පැහැදිලිද නැත්නම් මුකුත්ම තේරුන්නේ නැද්ද? Okay, then shall we move into the theory part or shall we try another example? What is your preference? Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Okay, then, okay, let's develop another application, small application. Okay, let's modify this one. Yeah, let's take two, sorry. Okay, now I'm going to create a small application to calculate the sum. Okay, okay. I'm going to create one interface to get the user interface. So number one, user can input any value. For number two, user can input any values. Then I'm going to send these two values to another interface and calculate the sum of these two numbers. Okay. Now I'm going to calculate sum of, okay, that means sum of two numbers based on user inputs. Okay. Let's modify this project. So in these two, let's take this, yeah, okay. ID name, this is email. Let's take this as number two. Sorry. Then we have to change all the variables, no? Can you do it by yourself as a homework? At the time, you can use in this method, you can implement or to calculate the sum of two numbers. Like by using these two, you can take integer value variables. By using these integer variables, you can get the values as a int. After that, you can calculate the sum of these variables and then you can display the output. Okay, so that's up to you. You can try this by yourself. I'm going to, yeah, you can try it by yourself. Let's discuss it tomorrow. I want to see your application. Try to develop a small application. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලා මම දැන් කිව්ව question එක කියන්නේ numbers දෙකක් user කෙනෙක් input කරගම ඒකේ output එක එක summation එක output වෙන චුටි application එකක් create කරන්න. එක interface එකක් හෝ වේවා දෙකක් හෝ වේවා. මම හිතන්නේ දෙකකින් කරනවා නම් හොඳයි. ඒකට data transfer කරන්න දැනගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා දෙකකින් implement කරන්න. මම හෙට lecture එකේදී ටික discuss කරන්නම්. මොකද next week I'm going to give you an assignment. So try to do this question by yourself. If you have any doubt, you can press your issues in next day. That means tomorrow morning. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I think no question. Then let's move into our next theory part. In this theory part, we are going to discuss about layouts. So in our previous lesson, we discussed about different layouts. So as linear layout, table layout, there are so many layouts in this Android environment. So in this case, we are going to discuss about fragments and situational layout. Okay. So this is the content of today's lecture. We are going to discuss about situational layout, then how to check the orientation in the Java code, and about fragments and the usage of the fragments. First of all, let's discuss about situational layout. So when we discuss about this situation, before moving to the situational layout, so let's discuss about layout. So in this layout, sorry, please give me 1 second. In last week, we were discuss about activity, I think. Yes. In last week, we were discuss about activities. So the activity is a single screen of UI which the user interact with. So under this activity, we will discuss about activity life cycle. Under this activity life cycle, we are discuss about mainly four stage as active stage, force stage, stop stage, and the inactive stage. So today we are going to discuss about fragments. This fragment also very important as activities. So before moving to the move before discuss about this fragment, let's discuss about situational layout first. So in this layout, we define the structure of your application. Sorry, structure of your interface. By using layout, you can define the structure of your interface. As an example, let's take this is interface 1. You can define structure of this layout, sorry, interface structure of this interface by using layout. I think when you are creating a XML, all these XML files are under this layout folder. You can see when you are creating this XML file, it's automatically declare the layout of this interface. That means layout structure of this interface. You can say this is a constraint layout. Okay, likewise, in this case, let's see, this is also constraint layout. Like this, you can find the layouts of your XML file. So the layout defines the structure of your interface. Okay, in our previous lesson, we discuss about different layout as linear, then table, and constraint. Like this. There are so many layout, different types of layouts. Okay, you can leave the session. Okay. So these are the layouts types available in the Android Studio. Okay. So this is about layout. So what is meant by layout? Can someone answer my question? What is layout? What is layout? No one in the class. Can someone answer my question? What is meant by layout? Yeah, it's a structure of the interface. This layout defines the structure of, keep in mind, this layout defines the structure of the interface. This defines the structure of the interface. Okay. When you are using an application or when you are creating an application, you can use different types of layout in different situations. Okay, as an example, you can use your layout or a structure of your interface based on the different types of or a different device type. I think you have some idea when you are creating virtual machine. Yeah, when you are creating virtual machine, you can define your virtual machine according to these categories like this. Okay, so you can use layout based on device type and different screen size and different orientation as well as different country. By based on these factors, you can use different layout in different situation. According to the situation, you can define your layout. Okay, so these are the factors based. These are the factors or these are the situation to define different types of layout. Okay, first of all, let's discuss about how to define specific folder. That means situation specific folders to define different types of layout. You can see when you if you need to create or if you need to define your resources in different specific folders based on their situation as well as based on their functionalities, you can use res folder to define those kind of specific resources folders. Okay. දැන් අපිට මම හිතන්නේ අපි raw කියලා ෆෝල්ඩර් එකක් හැදුවා අපිට දැන් මොකක් හරි specific folder එකක් if we need to create a specific folder to input or define some specific resource, you can use this you can create folders under this res folder. Okay, so when you are creating a resource folder, you can start by any name. That means you can use any name, but you need to start with simple letters with the suffix like this. You can define different types of resources folder under this res folder. Okay, so you can define if you need to define your picture with different screen density, you can use drawable folder to define those resources. Okay, so you can see if you need to define your pictures in your application with different types of screen density, you can use this drawable folder. So under this drawable folder, you can find under this not under this rs folder, you can see there are different types of drawable folders. These are varied based on their pixel values. Okay, so if you need to declare a picture or a resources with 3 dot per inch, you can use this HDPI folder. If you need to define a picture with 2 dots per inch by using 2 dots per inch, you can use this folder. Likewise, you can use different folders based on screen density. Okay, as well as if you need to create the layouts based on the screen size, you can use layout large folder, or you can create layout large folder within this RS folder to define different size such as small, normal, large, extra large, likewise. Okay, if you need to create different folders to different orientation, you can use layout folder to under this layout. By starting with this layout, you can define folders to declare the different orientation. Okay, then let's create two folders. But before that, let's discuss about portrait versus landscape layout. So now we are going to create a layout in landscape mode. In our previous example, we create all the layouts based on the portrait layout, portrait orientation. Now we are going to create a folder to define the application layout as landscape layout. Okay, let's see how to create. To create the layout folder in landscape mode, first you can create a folder in your project under the RS folder as layout land. To create a landscape, if you need to create a layout folder with layout in landscape mode, first you can move to the res folder. Under this res folder, you can create another folder as layout land like this. In this layout folder, you can place another copy of your main activities layout XML file. You can find. So wait, you can see activity.main.xml. Next, you can create another folder as layout.xml, and you can make a copy of this activity.main.xml within that layout.land, layout slash land folder. After that, you can modify that. That means you can modify your XML file according to your preference. After that, you can check the preview by rotating your fonts. Okay, I'm going to implement it. Yeah, let's try this one. Yeah, let's create a landscape layout folder. Okay, let's create another project. You can create another project by using empty activity like this. Let's take this. Okay, this is my phone project. දැන් අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි project එකක් හදද්දී කියන්නේ අපි automatically default හැදෙන්න project එකක orientation එක portrait. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි portrait විදිහට තමයි හැදෙන්නේ layout එක. හරිද? දැන් අපිට ඕන වෙලා තියෙනවා මේක landscape විදිහට හදන්න. ඒකට අපි landscape විදිහට හදන්න steps ටිකක් කතා කරා. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අපි කරන්නේ layout land කියලා folder එකක් හදා ගන්නවා. මේ folder එක අපි හදාගන්නේ res folder එක ඇතුලේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි කරන්නේ අපේ කලින් තිබ්බ main activity XML එකේ copy එකක් මේක ඇතුලේ හදාගෙන අපි ඒක අපිට ඕන විදිහට modify කරලා අපි test කරලා බලනවා ඒකේ default එක landscape ද හැදෙන්නේ කියලා. හරිද? Let's see. This is my res folder. This is my res folder. Under this res folder, you can see this layout. So under this layout, you can see this is in portrait orientation. Now we are going to change this portrait into landscape. To do that, first you need to create a layout folder. I'm going to create a file name as what is the name, layout. No? Layout like this. This is layout. Then directory name is layout. Let's take directory name as layout land. Let's take this is as activity. Sorry. Activity underscore main. Then you can, hello?
මේ ස්ලයිඩ් එක විතරයි මම ෂෙයා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
Sorry?
ස්ලයිඩ් එක විතරයි මම මේ ෂෙයා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මේ.
Sorry. Okay. Then again, let's start from the beginning. Let's create another project as new project, empty activity. Now, can you all see my Android Studio?
Yes, madam.
Okay. We can create another application as step 1 like this. Okay. Project. Okay, so under this stress folder, you can see layout. Now I'm going to create another folder as layout land to define the landscape layout. Okay, so you can create new directory or a resource file. I'm going to create new resource file like this. File name as main activity. Sorry, activity. Main like this. So this is layout main. We can give the directory name as layout land. In this case, I'm going to take the default orientation as landscape. This is my activity.main XML. This is available under land layout. I'm going to copy and paste this layout like this. Okay, then let's move to the design view. You can see the default orientation is landscape. Like this, you can change the that means orientation of your application by using this RES folder. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට ඕන සිටුේෂන් එකට අනුව අපි අපේ layout design කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Okay. You can see, you can change the screen size by creating new folder like layout large, and you can change the pixel of your, that means screen density of your resources by using these drawable folders like this. You can define situation specific folders based on your situation and based on your project. Okay. Then you can check your orientation by using the Java code. We did all these things for XML code. In this case, we did these changes for XML code. But by using this Java code, you can check the orientation. Okay. So when you are defining some Java code of your activities, it wants to behave differently in each orientation. So you can check the orientation by using this small piece of code. Okay, so in this code you can see this get resources. You can get the resources and get configure the orientation as landscape. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපිට Java project එකක් හදුවත් අපිට Java code use කරන්න පුළුවන් අපේ preference එක අනුව. එතකොට අපි orientation එක change කරන්න පුළුවන් by using this piece of code. So in this case, you can see by using this if condition, you can change the orientation as landscape. Okay. If you need to change your application layout as a portrait, you can use this piece of code. This is the code. This get resources, get configuration, orientation is equal to configuration orientation. You can give the orientation that you need. This is the small piece of code to check the orientation within your Java file. Just keep in mind, no need to memorize all these things. I think these are very valuable when you are developing a project. Okay. Then you can see there are many redundant layouts when you are defining a project. This is not in a small project. When you are developing a large scale project, you can see, and sometimes you have, yeah, you can see there are so many different redundant layout. So with this situational layout, this redundance encountered mostly. So as an example, you can take this one. If the layout in one case as a portrait and medium, it is very similar to the layout in another case as landscape or large. At that time, you can see there is a redundant between these two layout. Okay, so when you are defining different types of layout within one application, you do not need to define same code within different XML or within different Java code in multiple times. Okay, just you can define one and you can retrieve that code to another project, sorry, another class or another XML file, anything. Okay, okay, like this you can remove the redundancy. දැන් අපි redundancy කියලා කියන්නේ එකම දේ නැවත duplicate වෙන එක. data redundant වෙනවා කියන එක. ඒතකොට අපිට එක case එක portrait medium කියන එක සමහර වෙලාවට ඒක ගොඩක් similar වෙන්න පුළුවන් landscape එක large use කරද්දී. හොඳද? ඒ නිසා අපිට මෙන්න මේ අවස්ථාවවලදී අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන් පොඩි button එකක්. You can use the button to avoid this redundancy. Let's discuss these things in practical session. So in landscape mode, you can click on the button and you at that time it should modify an existing view. In portrait mode, clicking the button should launch a new activity. Likewise, you can change the behavior to minimize the redundant layout by using some button events. Okay. Then the next one is fragments. So this is the main topic we are going to discuss today. In this fragment is a reusable segment of Android user interface that can appear in an activity. So this is just like a segment. This is just like a reusable segment within an application. That means within your Android application. Yeah, this is a reusable segment. Keep in mind, fragment is a reusable segment of Android UI that can appear in an activity. Okay, by using this fragment, you can help to handle different devices and screen size, as well as you can reuse the common fragment across multiple activities. So you can see this is a tablet. This is the handset. So in these two cases, you can see this is a fragment activity. Yeah, not clear, no? There are two fragments as a fragment A and the fragment B. Within one interface, you can define two fragments, or you can see this is the activity 1 and activity A, and this is the activity B. So this is within one application, this is within two devices. So at that time, this one contain fragment A and this one contain fragment B. Likewise, we can define different fragments in multiple activities as well as within an activity. Okay, this is the way to create a fragment. You can create a fragment in Android Studio by right-click on the app. Right-click on the app, then click New, then the fragment, then fragment blank. By using these steps, you can create a fragment. Okay. After that, you can create your code. Okay. Okay, I think let's discuss this fragment in next day with an example. Let's find out for today. Do you have any question up now? Let's discuss about fragment in detail tomorrow. I'm going to give you an assignment next week. So you can go through all the practical session and try those practical questions by yourself, as well as I'm going to, I think I uploaded all the lecture note, not sure.
Madam, can you upload the lecture video recording? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Madam, lecture video recording टिका drive करना है madam.
Okay, I will upload all these things by today. This is okay. Okay, then I will upload the Zoom link, not lecture recording to this folder. Okay.
Okay.
Where's my one? Untitled Education. I can upload all the files to this position. Do you have any question? If you have a, no, it's not a in-class assignment. It's a practical question. Again, practical question එකක් දෙන්නම ඔයාලා කරලා upload කරන්න Google Classroom එකට. Next Wednesday 1:30 මම allow කරන්න. කියන්නේ upload කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ Wednesday Thursday Friday වගේ submit කරන්න. Okay, any other questions? Okay, if you have any question, feel free to ask. Then this session, I think, yeah.
මඩම් මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකට මේ assignment වැඩිපුර කරලා අපිට මේ exam එකට assignment සහ project එකකින් 150කුයි exam අර paper written එකෙන් 150කුයි ගන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට බැරිද මඩම් හදාගන්න?
107 මම ඒක හරියටම දන්නේ නැහැ මෙහි පොලිසි එක කොහොමද කියලා මම ඒක ඩිස්කස් කරලා ඔයාලට හරියට ඉන්ෆෝම් කරන්න මම හරියටම දන්නේ නැහැ මෙහි යන ප්‍රොසීඩියර් එක කොහොමද යන්නේ කියලා ඒ කියන්නේ මම ඒක ඩිස්කස් කරලා බලන්න එහෙම පොසිබිලිටි එකක් තියෙනවද කියලා මම මෙහි rules and regulation ගැන ලොකු දැන් ඒ කියන්නේ මට දීලා තියෙන්නේ 40% හරි 30% හරි CA වලින් 70% හරි 60% හරි මේ ෆයිනල් එක්සෑම් එකකින් කියලා. හැබැයි ඔයාලට දෙන අසයින්මන්ට් එක next week ඒක විතරක් ෆයිනල් එවලුෂන් එකට යන්නේ නැහැ. ෆයිනල් එවලුෂන් එකට ඔයාලා ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකක් කරන්න ඕනි. ස්මෝල් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකක් මොකක් හරි මොබයිල් ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එක ඩෙවලොප් කරන්න ඕනි මොකක් හරි ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් සිනාරියෝ එකකට.
හරි මඩම්.
හරි නේද? තව මොන හරි ප්‍රොපොකේෂන්ස් තියෙනවද? practical guides ටික ඔක්කොම කරන්න එතකොට ඔයාලට click වෙයි කියන්නේ basic ටික කොහොමද activity එකක් create කරන්නේ ඒ ටිකෙන් තමයි මම next week එකේ assignment එක දෙන්නේ පොඩි assignment එකක් හැමෝටම කරන්න පුළුවන් එකක් ඒකට ඔයාලා අඩුම තරම් practical guide ටිකවත් refer කරනවනේ මේ සාමාන්‍ය ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද කාට හරි තාම Android Studio දාගන්න බැරි වෙච්ච කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද හරි නැත්තම් මොකක් හරි running අර මම ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක්ට කිව්වා ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක එවන්න කියලා. එයා පොඩ්ඩක් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක එවලා මට මේල් එකක් දාන්න. මොනවා හරි එහෙම ඉෂුස් තියෙනවා තාම. එහෙම ඉෂුස් තියෙන අය මේ වීක් එකේ නෙවෙයි. ඔව් මේ වීක් එකේ මම චුට්ටක් ඉස්සේ. කමන්න මේ වීක් එකේ ඔයාලා මොන හරි ඉෂු එකක් තියෙනවා නම් කියන්නේ Android application Android Studio run කරද්දි හරි එහෙම නැත්නම් install කරද්දි හරි මොනවා හරි issue එකක් තියෙනවා නම් මට mail එකක් දාන්න. එතකොට අපි මේ week එකේ ඔක්කොම විසඳගමු. හරි නේද? තව මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Okay, if you have any doubt when you are set up your Android Studio, you can raise your question by using an email. You can attach the error by using a screenshot. At that time, I can give the solution. Any other questions? Next week, I'm going to give an assignment. It is take-home assignment. You can submit that assignment within 2 or 3 days. It's a small question based on the practice. That means small practical question. You need to develop a small application, not a big one, just a small application. Any other questions? Okay, I think no question. If you have any question, you can mail me. Then let's stop for today. Thank you.